Welcome to the Digital Learning. This is a video on A Service of Love by O. Henry. I'm Prasanna Utpikar, Associate Professor in English. This short story, A Service of Love by O. Henry, is prescribed in the textbook of English for first semester BCom, B.B.A, B.H.M students studying under Bengaluru City University, Bengaluru. This is a video on session 2. In this session, in the explanation of the short story A Service of Love by O. Henry, you would learn the exposition of the story where characters and plot setting are established. Conflict or problem in the story is introduced. Learning objectives. To know the exposition of the story, to get acquainted with the key thoughts related to social and ethical values, interpret ideas and events, to learn reading of the text with correct pronunciation, stress, pause, and modulation of voice. Outcomes of the session. To know story content and structure in depth, role-playing, story analysis, and presentation planning. Vocabulary and sentence structure, respond to short and long essay questions. At the beginning of the story, the narrator claims that it shall begin with the premise that when one loves one's art, no service seems too hard. And then the author claims that at the end of the story, this premise will be proved wrong. Then the two characters of the story, Joe Larrabee and Delia Caruthers, are introduced. Joe Larrabee is an aspiring artist from Middle West. When Joe was 6 years old, his first painting of the town pump with a prominent citizen passing it hastily was hung at the drugstore. Now at the age of 20, he comes to New York pursuing his passion to study art. Joe registers under the great artist Magister to master his art. Delia is a talented pianist. She could play piano in 6 octaves so promisingly in her village in the south that her relatives contributed money for her to go to North to complete her studies in piano. Delia came to New York, registered under reputed Master Rosenstock to complete her study in piano. Joe and Delia meet at an atelier. Atelier is a studio where art and music students discussed great musicians and artists like John Peter Wagner, Chopin Frederick, and others. Both Joe and Delia fall in love with each other and are married soon after. They take up a small, unimpressive, remotely located flat and are happy together. They have each other and they have their art. Joe and Delia made a lot of adjustments after getting married with each other. Joe had enrolled in an expensive class under a famous master Magister, and Delia studied under Rosenstock, a famous pianist. Fees of Magister and Rosenstock was very high. Joe's ambition was to paint pictures that old rich men would love to buy. Delia wants to be sought after by orchestras where she can be treated like a diva. Joe and Delia enjoyed home life. They talked about their goals over their quaint dinners, their passionate, vociferous chats after the day's study, the dinners and fresh light breakfasts, the interchange of ambitions interwoven each with others, the mutual help and inspiration, and stuffed olives and cheese sandwiches at 11 p.m. Everything was fine until money started to run out. As the days passed, art grew weaker. Money was going out, nothing coming in. Shortage of money led to difficulty in paying fees of their masters, Magister and Rosenstock. Thank you, students. The continuation will be in the next session.